Hey folks, welcome back to Mark Kelly Farms, where we are a one-stop shop for homestead living. If you're looking for something on YouTube about homestead, we cover just about everything here at Mark Kelly Farm. Today we're back out in the shop. If you recall, if you've been following along, we did some overseeding the other day in hopes that the coming rain would be enough to get that stuff going. However, it wasn't much. So we're going to have to do something. Stick around. We'll show you what we're going to do. So our moisture we were supposed to get ended up being less than 0.10 of an inch, which is just not going to cut it if we want to get something to germinate. We've got a few days of warm weather coming up, and by warm I mean in the 70s, which is plenty to germinate the stuff that we want to get going for our winter food plot. But we need the moisture, and we didn't get it. So we're going to have to do some artificial precipitation, and I'll show you what we picked up at the hardware store to get this done. So we are going to make us a high volume sprinkler to do some artificial rain out in our food plot. So I went to the hardware store. I picked up one of the longest nipples they have, but because of the pre-cut pipe that they have, a 24-inch piece of pipe, 3/4 pipe, they want $32 for that. I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. So I just bought the largest nipple that they had on the shelf, which was still fairly expensive. Now the sprinkler we got is a gear drive sprinkler, and we got the stainless steel model, so it'll last a good long time. They're a little more expensive. And this is a 3/4 inch sprinkler. It's not the kind that are in your yard. These are used at like golf courses and stuff like that. Big 3/4 inch volume sprinkler. And then of course our 3/4 inch piece of pipe, 3/4 elbow, and a 3/4 to hose adapter for the bottom of that. However, you probably know that we can't just put this out on the hose. It won't stand up. So we're going to have to make us a base for the sprinkler to go on. I tried to find something at the garden store we have, the farm store, the hardware store. Nobody had a good heavy base with a 3/4 inch outlet. They were all 1/2 inch, and they were really small, really flimsy. So guess what? We got to make our own. So let's gather up some steel, and we'll make a nice sturdy base for this, because this big sprinkler with the volume and the pressure it's going to be putting out, it's going to need a weighty base to keep this thing from falling over or moving around. So let's get her going. So in my scrap steel, and I hate to use the word scrap because to me steel is not scrap. I take apart everything that's going to get thrown away and take any usable steel I can use. This was obviously something else in the past. It's full of holes, but it's going to work just fine for what we need. It's good quarter wall, heavy, like 2x2 angle iron. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to kind of make a sled. Doesn't need to be this long. We'll probably go maybe 2 feet, and then we'll angle the ends of it up so when I pull on the hose, this thing will slide out across the ground out there. And then obviously we're going to have to put a cross piece or two in there to hold things together. So let's get these cut to length first. We'll cut them down to 2 feet. We got our metal bandsaw set up. I finally got some roller stands for the longer material. I've got 2 of them. Picked them up at Harbor Freight. They're a pretty good deal. They don't need to be crazy heavy duty for what I'm doing, but I needed them. So we got 2 feet measured in here. So we'll kick this baby on and get things rolling. We got our 2 runners cut at 2 feet. So now what I'm going to do, one of the pieces that we cut off is about the right length that we want for the middle piece. So we'll just use it. We won't even have to cut it. And because this is such heavy material, this will be plenty to hold this stuff together, and it's not going to move at all. because it's heavy material. So we'll get by with one cross piece in the center instead of doing like two of them. And then I'm going to go ahead and clamp these up in our vise here and get the wire wheel out and clean this surface rust off of here so we don't have any problem with our welding, anything like that. Got our pieces all cleaned up, ready to start cutting and welding and stuff. So on the ends of these, we're going to want to bend these up so they ride over the ground a little bit better and they don't dig in. So we came over 5 inches. We figured that'd be about a good kind of a ramp on the end. And we want to bend this up at a 45-degree angle. So if you remember, if you wanted to do a 90-degree angle, you'd have a 45-degree notch in here. And that would make you straight 90 degrees this way. Since we want to be on a 45-degree angle, instead of a 45-degree cut, we're doing a 22.5-degree cut. And then that'll give us our 45 angle here. And you also got to remember you have a web over here with 1/4 inch. So you need to come back in a 1/4 inch to make the valley of your cut, because you obviously can't cut clear to here. It won't fold right. So we'll cut these out with our 4.5 inch cutoff wheel. And then we should be able to bend these just with a hammer. I don't think we're going to have to heat it up, but if we do, we will. All right, we got our pieces all cut. Apologize for the noise in the background. Kelly's vacuuming her car out with my shop vac. But everything's ready to weld. But before I do that, we're going to put this elbow on this piece right here. It's going to be welded in. So we need to notch this out. So this will sit down inside of it about halfway. And then our riser can come off of here, and then our hose fitting will be on this side. And this will actually be part of the fixture. So we'll take our torch and we'll burn that out real quick, and then we'll sand it up, get it ready to weld. Well, we got everything ready to weld. So we came over to our welding table, which is a metal table. And because our table's perfectly square, we can use it as a square. So we set this up perfectly square here. And then for this other piece, I just measured and then we just squared it with our little square there. I know we're not building a clock, but because this is all clamped down, it's not going to move around when I weld it, so I don't have to be so careful about this thing warping in any certain direction. So we'll get all of this welded up, we'll get these corners welded up, and then we'll get our elbow welded into the middle. Got her all welded up. We're just going to take our little flapper wheel sander, clean it up a little bit where some of the welding berries have hit, and then we'll get some paint on this thing and then put it together. All right, folks, we got her done. I think that's going to work out for us real well. It's going to shoot water pretty far. If you want to see it work, we'll show you how it works on the way out of here. After we say bye to you, we'll show a shot of it working. So if they don't have it at the store or don't have what you need, I guess you got to make it, right? That's what we did. I think this thing is going to serve us well into our future. It's going to be nice. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully I don't have a dirty face again. We love you guys. Come back and check us out here on the farm. We'll see you then. Big Mark, make it rain. Hey, yo, 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 hey, yo, 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 hey, yo, 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 yo. Doing my rain dance. Kelly taught me how to do the rain dance because she's an Indian. She's a card-carrying member of the Leadfoot tribe. There she is.